there is Ian Ally as we bid farewell to Megan Proctor, Tony Holgate on standby here for the semi-finals. Ian Ally and John McAllister, they were so brilliant individually earlier on today. John in particular was magnificent, beating Sean Storey. But Ian Ally played unbelievably well in his match up against Phil Harrison. Played magnificently. Burned him away as frame one gets underway.
Red ball's in play.
And I'm delighted to say Tony Holgate does indeed join me in the commentary box for this one. You had the pleasure of watching both these gentlemen earlier on, Tony. They were utterly magnificent, the pair of them, in their quarterfinals, playing a beautiful standard. And I think if they both turn up in the way that they can in this semi-final, we may be in for an absolute classic.
Yeah, I think we've got two great semi-finals to bring you for the rest of the day. Ian Ally, John McAllister. McAllister really playing superb stuff earlier today. Ian Ally had to weather a bit of a storm against Phil Harrison, firstly, in some very choppy waters, but he did eventually haul himself over the line. The way this man McAllister's been playing, this is going to be a completely different animal. And the other semi-final, of course, the defending champion Chris Melling, we just heard on the comms a few minutes ago on the Megan Proctor Amy Beecham match, will be taking on the French flair of Christophe Lambert after that incredible end of the match against Aaron Davison. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it if you haven't seen it. It was pretty much, I wouldn't say mundane, it was a bit of a plod of a match. It was never going to get quite to the full amount of frames, and it ended up with Aaron Davies looking pretty much like he was sealing his way through his leading. He had a frame ahead. There was only about 40 seconds on the clock. He played what was considered a pretty good safety shot. And then Aaron sat down, probably thinking, well, Christophe can't really do a lot from there. The Reds were not in a great position, and Christophe Lambert pulled out the most ridiculous finish, breaking Reds out, running round a table. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, the black was on the bottom rail, the cue ball tight to the top rail, just got down, slammed it in, and then wins the 6-red shootout by a second. Unbelievable drama we had.
It was bonkers. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. One of the best finishes to a match I can remember.
Well, if you hadn't seen it earlier today, trust me, you will see it, because that will be around for a good while to come. It will be shown everywhere. It's just insane. So Ian Ally attempting a long red up this rail. That's not going to go. Got that too far away from the rail, so John McAllister will come back to the table. Still a race to 14, these semi-finals. It will move up to race to 15 in the final, which will be tonight. So what we'll be doing, we'll be seeing 13 frames of first session with Ian and John, and we'll move on to the other semi-final and see the opening session between Chris Melling and Christophe. Also got some more women's action to come as well. So full afternoon and evening of pool here at the Ultimate Pool Masters. All being played in the Players' Lounge here in Newcastle-under-Lyme, in the great county of Staffordshire. McAllister wants an angle on this yellow, and he has it. All about where he contacts the 8-ball, because it's going to shunt the yellow. And in an ideal world, he'd like to slide this yellow into this top corner and just breeze the cue ball off this right-hand side rail and just flick the 8-ball away from the yellow, not moving it at all, leave himself sat behind it, so he's got a tap in the middle. Easier said than done. Got underneath it, and he won't be that pleased with his result. Hit the 8-ball and the yellow ball. Yep, a little brown. That's his result. Just looking at it here, I don't think he has anything else but the double into the bottom right-hand corner. He's also got to get that cue ball back as well. Well, a little bit lost with that shot. I mean, maybe John thought he could go off the red, but that was a big ask. I would imagine Ian Ali wasn't expecting to get this second bite at the cherry. Sort of killed the cue ball a bit there, Ian, with a bit of spin. Wanted it waved down the table nearer those bottom reds, but he has a shot at it.
Wow.
Yeah, how'd you like that?
I bet you can't believe the action he got on that. But he's got a chance. He's landed nicely.
What should do, Ian? Red top right. And it's in. Black ball in the centre, and it's Ian Ali who's going to draw first blood. Down goes the 8-ball. So of course Ian's had the longest break. Finished first this morning, so it should be reasonably refreshed.
Frame 2, you know, to break. Frame 2.
So frame 2, Ian Ali to break us off. And that doesn't look very friendly at all for Ian Ali. It's not so much they're not potting a ball off the break, it's the fact that what he's left John McAllister.
Extension call. Yellow ball's dominated.
Be a nice little soft shot into the centre pocket here for John. Just coming around to check his angle. So he wants to leave a nice angle. He's going to play the one into the top left next and then come around the back of those three reds. Basically into the centre of the table. His work then will be in the same area. If he gets plumb in the centre of those three yellows, that will it will spell the end of this frame. Round the reds he goes. Such an exquisite cue action. Just the way he strokes those balls into the pocket. Perfect control. This is going to be 1-1. And 𝗀𝟐𝟊 looked concerned at the start of this frame when he had that dry break. Those concerns weren't without any substance as John McAllister cruised around the table.
Frame 3, John McAllister to break. One frame.
Crunching break from John McAllister. And how many times I think all of us in the commentary box have said that about John's break.
It's been phenomenal this weekend. Ever since he's found that little rhythm that he was looking for, it's like a piston. It's just so reliable, gun barrel straight. Power, control, everything you want out of a break, he's got it. And how well has he judged that shot?
Yeah, it was very noticeable from the start of that quarter-final last night when he played Sean Story. And Sean did well to hang in for as long as he did with him. And then also today, it was just... He was just pristine with his cue ball now. Ball from that very first day playing Anthony Jeffers.
Feels like such a long time ago.
All over the place. That first session, and I'll say it again, I think he made more mistakes in that first session against Anthony Jeffers on Friday than he's probably made all season. But what a transformation. Lovely position. Just to look at it, he probably now just guide this cue ball, screw straight past that red and up the table. He's there looking much, so he wants to be on that yellow. The interesting one will be getting from large yellow to black. Don't know whether he might take the yellow nearest the pocket there. I think he wanted to come another couple of inches. Made that so much more easier to gain position, so he might have to go around the back. Just depends on the angle. No, he's okay. He's going to play with the left-hand side. Just bring that cue ball away from the other off that top rail. So now position to the 8 ball. Looking at various reds to bounce off. Well, it will go in that bottom right-hand corner, but you'd have to be right in that gap between the two reds.
Be really interested to see how John plays this.
Gone for a breakout. Just a double. That's all the shot, the only shot available.
Yeah, it doesn't go. A little bit surprised with that. It's not usually John's sort of main way of playing.
No, it's not.
Big double. And even early on, and it is very early on, that could be a big moment.
Nice little safety there from Ian. An interesting one for John to try and get out of here. He knows he does. It's not just about hitting it, it's about trying to make something happen with his 8 ball, as in pot it. His pennies, a load of check. Didn't quite take off the second rail, so ball in hand for Ian Ali. No dramas here for Ian. A couple of simple pots away. Getting back in front. The big thing about that is it's off the McAllister break again. So he's won both his frames so far of John McAllister's break. He had a dry break himself, which McAllister finished off. So no one's won with their break yet, which is quite bizarre when you consider who's in the arena. So can Ian Ali hold his serve? If he does, get a 2-frame cushion, which I'm sure would be most welcome in the Ian Ali camp. a bit of shoulder into that one. And would you believe it, dry again. Shake of the head. Oh. Why? Says Ian. And once more, it's what he's left. The incoming John McAllister. This is his hardest ball, stretching up to play this red. Pots it with ease.
Red ball's in play.
Comes downstairs with what looks like a dot-to-dot finish. Leaving that red over that middle. That's his last ball, I would imagine. Makes it very easy to get on the 8. Well, he might have to change his mind. I think John there was expected to nudge that red into the rail and it would come off about maybe 2 balls widths, but it's come way a bit further than that. No dramas though, just means to just change his highway.
No dramas is actually such a lovely phrase to describe John's entire game. It really is so unfussy.
So looking like 2-all, and nobody yet, well, both players yet to win off their own break.
Well, he's just got a shot to play here. He's just got a shot to play. He's got a cue ball to find. He's got to find a gap.
He could push this through, and if he hits the middle yellow full ball, in fact, he could hit the top yellow half ball and get on there.
Yeah, just like that. That's nice. But just a shot to play at the end there, and he's played it well. In goes the 8. No
yeah, it's one of
dramas.
those. If the only way it would have been a real problem if the yellow he hit went with the cue ball. So as long as he didn't track that with it, he was always going to be okay. And he was. So John McAllister to break.
2 frames all.
Is the curse of the break going to continue in this match? Cue ball is heading towards that corner. Got shunted butt. A dry break from John. Just that little glance off that yellow there, stop that from going in off, but it will feel like in off, not getting the ball, to be fair, if you ask John McAllister.
Red ball's in play.
And that's with the previous frame. The reds looked like a dot-to-dot finish this time for Ian Alley.
I do love watching Ian Alley play. For me, one of the great enigmas of Ultimate Pool. The ability he has when he turns it on is extraordinary. But he can be a bit hot and cold. But usually, the brighter the lights, the bigger the stage, the better Ian Alley performs. One of the best money match players that's ever played. Played for some impossibly big pots against some world-class players and has a very favourable record. And we saw in the Pro Series, didn't we? First one of the year, big new stage in Wigan. And you could see he got that glint in his eye early on. He loved being out there. He could tell it was made for him. And he put in two magnificent performances against Shane Thompson and Tom Cousins, who were both playing brilliantly. Knocked him out in incredible fashion. And was just unlucky in the final. Both players played brilliantly. You can lose those games, it happens. But he showed that he belongs at that kind of level. And it's not a surprise to see him in the last four. It is a little bit, because, you know, there's obviously players ranked ahead of him and all the rest of it. But in terms of players who can play long formats at the top level, Ian Alley is absolutely in that conversation.
Thank you. Frame 6, Ian Alley to break. 3 frames to 2.
Absolute thunderous break from Ian Alley. Is he going to be the one to stop the rot? Someone finally, are they going to win off their own break?
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Red ball's in play.
Played a pretty decent shot there. Nicely done. That's just opened the pocket up for the 8-ball. One longish red. Whichever one he takes. Make a case for the middle one or the one onto the right. He's taking the middle one. I prefer that. It's a bit straighter. It had a little think about it.
It did. It had a ponder.
This will also be a little mini break as well for Ian Alley. We'll get 2 in front here. If we can keep playing 6 frames against John McAllister and winning 4-2, that'd be nice from Ian Alley's point of view.
Oh, it'd be wonderful from Ian Alley's point of view. Wouldn't that be nice?
Nice control coming past that yellow, and this pretty simple 8-ball. And Ian Alley breaks and dishes. The first man to triumph on his own break. He now leads John McAllister 4 frames to 2.
frame 7. John McAllister to break, trailing 4 frames to 2.
Woof. Big break.
For me, looking at that split, does that yellow on the top rail creep past those reds into the top left? If it does, then these are gone. And it must do, because he's taking the yellow up here now. It certainly does. Goes, and John McAllister now is saying, okay, then if we're playing that game where we're going to win off our own breaks, I'll join in then. Because I can't see anything else but a break and finish coming the way of John McAllister. These two gladiators, the Ultimate Pool Pro Tour now rising up. The niceties have finished at the start of this match, and it's now brute force. More chance of Halley's Comet coming around twice next week than John McAllister missing that yellow. And in goes the 8 ball, and McAllister fires one back right across the bows of Ian Alley.
As ever, a wordsmith, Mr. Holgate.
Learnt from the great Stephen Jameson.
Frame 8, Ian Alley to break, leading 4 frames to 3. Extension call.
All 3 in front then. Ian Alley leads with a shade over half an hour remaining on this session clock. It's a double to open up. And that is beautifully played. There's still work. He wants to be able to get to the right side of the table here. I'm not sure he can off this shot. Can he work it? No. Middle next. He just wants to be able to connect the 2 at the top of the table together. It's not particularly that easy to do. It's fiddly.
Well, he's okay. And I would imagine now, if you look at the layout of these yellows here, Ian's already thought that 8 ball's going in the top right-hand corner because there's a big bag up there where that red is.
Yeah, and he's worked the top bit really well. It was all about whether he could slide above that yellow and get to this position. From here, he can start worrying about the 8 ball.
He'd already planned that one.
Yeah.
I would have thought way before, because he just drops this in and...
Yeah, sure. I just mean his attention will turn to it.
Oh,
yeah.
of course, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not for one moment suggesting Ian Alley hasn't considered where that 8 ball's going. He didn't get to the semi-finals by doing that.
Oh.
worked these beautifully. It was a fiddly, tricky finish, and I think he's just worked them out really, really well. Little kiss off the reds, in goes the 8, 5-3, 8 frames gone, and Ian Alley has won 5 of them. Tidy start from the fave, who may well not have started the fave with the bookmakers in this match, but there are a few players who play pool in this country more supported than Ian Alley. The belief his supporters have in him is second to none. And when you see what he's able to do, you can see why they have that level of faith.
Yeah, superb player. Really, really is.
Frame 9, John McAllister to break.
Yeah, you can see why they don't mind betting a few quid on him.
More than just a few quid.
However, he's not faced you in that Riley queue yet, though, is he?
John McAllister's piston-like break returns, that would have been the cruelest in off. As it is, it's just a bit of a cruel leave. He will be forced into yellows. He has the one available to the top left, bottom left as we look from the main camera. That might be all he's got available. I don't think you can see anything else.
Yellow ball's in play.
Not the intended nudge there for John McAllister. Cut the ball into the bottom right now. Go into the black and the yellow. I think he was intending to push that yellow a little bit further over to go with the cue ball towards that left-hand rail. It sort of stayed there. You could probably see it is a plant or a makeable plant, but it's going to have to do it from the sharp angle. And you see, it will plant. And wouldn't he just love to be right behind it? He's made the pot. All he's left himself is a very thin cut into the middle here. The time navigating the cue ball through the line of these reds and up to the top of the table. Short. A long way short as well. Sort of drop of the shoulders from McAllister there, and that's as much emotion as you're going to get from him.
Yeah, literally all you'll get. Tough shot, tough cue ball.
Oh, brilliantly done. What's the reward?
Well, does it go? Don't think it does.
If it does, this is really tight. I don't think it does either.
He's playing it.
This is going in the top corner.
Oh, I did threaded the needle. What a shot. That was so tight. He's had such a rub there, you know, to leave that. You got to say.
See, with all the other players, if it didn't go, they'd have been waving their arms about and shaking their heads. And obviously we would have known it did go because if it was, let's say, Christophe or Phil Harrison.
Yeah, literally anything.
If they didn't do anything, we knew it went, but if it didn't go, they'd let us know. So
that's a remarkable,
brilliant
little out. He put his hand up at the end there to acknowledge the run that he had. That was a much needed frame for John McAllister.
Frame 10. United to break. Leading 5 frames to 4.
𝗬𝗓𝗍 breaks dry for the first time in now. In 3 attempts. So it's the end of his breaking dish momentum.
Extension call. Yellow ball's in play.
It's all about that yellow that's just above the 8 ball there. Get on that into the middle and be happy. That's exactly what he's done. Would have liked to come a couple more inches.
Yeah, just off the rail as well would be a little touch. He's okay.
Yeah, it's manageable.
He just knows he's going into the red, and he doesn't want the red to go and block the path of the yellow to the bottom right. That's one thing to watch here. Yeah, he's controlled that so well.
Just a nice slow roll up the rail with this yellow top right. Nice middle of the cue ball, nothing to do with it. That's gone. And now as John McAllister saunters around the table for his second to last yellow. He will roll this in. Cue ball just gently bounce off that right hand cushion and sit behind the other yellow, ready to go in the bottom corner, along with the black in about 12 seconds time. Taking a bit longer with this last yellow. He's landed that funny angle way. He's now going to have to dig this in a bit to bring the cue ball back. No problem though, this for John. He's just checking the angle of this cut with the 8 ball to make sure that cue ball's not going to bump into that last red and flick into the corner pocket, because we've seen a few of those over the years. He went full into the face of it, making sure there's no foul with that shot, and down it goes. And another one onto John McAllister's side of the scoreboard. All shaping up nicely.
It really is. It's just a little bit of jostling for position, isn't it? Sort of prolonging the inevitable race to the finish. But while they both sort of go back and forth, they know, okay, stay in the game, stay in the game. Wait for the sprint finish. I think to sort of a 1500-meter race, if you're watching the Olympics, it's never lost in the first few laps, but it's never won in the first few laps, but it can be lost.
Any of the older people out there remember Seb Coe and Steve Ovett.
Yeah.
Maybe Steve Cram, those sort of players, but they just all take it in turns, leading on each lap until the bell.
Sort of feels how this match is going so far.
Time running.
Well, straight in off in the middle. And that will be one
Yellow ball's nominated.
that John McAllister will certainly not be happy about at all. He just pegged back 𝗂𝗓𝗄's two-frame cushion as well. He really didn't want to hand him the table on his own break. And this game has steamed along without looking like either player really breaking a sweat. It's like they had an agreement before the match. I'll tell you what, I'll dish a few and then you dish a few, and we'll have a couple of dry breaks each, and then we'll just go in sort of like, you know, you can be one in front when we come out for the second part of the match. You know, he's just having a little check with that yellow that's just adjacent to the black ball to see if it passes that red. I thought he'd have looked at that earlier. This is just a double check. So my eyes didn't deceive me, did they? Let me see, it's half a pocket.
Yeah. If that. Plays into it. Oh, I didn't love that.
No.
Didn't love that choice. And he certainly won't love the outcome.
No, he wanted to have a thicker contact with that yellow as he played that one in the centre, and now that is a big problem no matter what he does with his yellow, unless he pots it, of course, because John McAllister has plenty of reds to hide 𝗂𝗓𝗄 behind.
Looked for the loss of turn, didn't get it. And 𝗂𝗓𝗄's in a world of trouble in this frame now.
Yeah, he's kind of rushed as well there. So, looking at the layout there, will John go now? I think he might try and get ball in hand, because he's in a decent spot up at that top at the top of the table to get a very good snooker. Having said that, the answer to my question there is no, he won't. He likes them. Well, I'll tell you what, he potted that red and he wanted to bump straight into that yellow, and he's completely gone, well, just gone straight past it. A wry smile. But I think you can barely believe it, because he just bumped into the yellow, sat right behind the other red that's near the corner pocket, and then he'd have probably gone into the middle, which he's going there now. So thankfully for John, he did have other balls available, but He's slightly annoyed. Attempt the thin cut into the bottom right. Is it eyeing it up? No. Plant. Will it go clean? Oof.
Very well executed.
Braver man than me playing that.
Very, very well executed.
But he's just a braver man than me, full stop, probably. Nice gentle cut into the centre pocket here for John. Cue ball down the table, will track nicely for his last red. So after a little mini scan when he didn't nudge into that yellow, it looks to be that John McAllister will tidy these up nicely.
There's not many times that players are going to make mistakes in this match. Sort of hand their opponents frames they themselves should have won. It sort of feels like what's happened for 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗃 in this one. A swing frame, if you will.
Well, I think that's John McAllister's first lead of this match. 6-5 in front and just off to just go and wash his hands and freshen up. Comfort break. Yeah, he was trailing 1-0, 2-1. Then he went 4-2 and 5-3, but that's now 3 in a row for McAllister. So we've got 2 more frames to play in this match.
For the time being.
For the time being. And then we will switch our attention to Chris Melling and Christophe Lambert.
Yeah, John's just taking a second out of the arena, I think that's the...
Yeah, he just went...
here.
I saw him head off with his towel. He did actually sort of kindly ask Ian's permission, the way he sort of gestured to him. And I think he's put in and said, yeah, and don't come back.
John back in the arena. 6-5 he leads, 17 minutes left on this first session.
Thank you, frame 12. 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗃 to break. 26 frames to 5.
Do have our second semi-final coming up shortly. First session of Chris Melling taking on Christophe Lambert. Battle of the Chris's, Chris squared. And I'm so intrigued as to how that match is going to go. Because if both players play how they did this morning, it's a big if, for a lot of reasons, then you simply cannot look past Chris Melling. He was playing 10 out of 10. Christophe was patchy. And managed to scrape through against Aaron Davies. But if Chris drops a level, if Christophe raises his level, he should be in for an absolute cracker.
Well, Chris Melling has let out the battle cry in his interview after winning against Craig Woodingham. So if I bring my A game, I win.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that level of confidence out of Chris, to be honest.
When I hear him say it, it's like he thinks it's not very far away, or it's there.
Yeah, and he's quite honest with the sense that, you know, he feels if he gets 14 chances in this match and he doesn't win, then it's his fault. And he knows how well he's playing, and in a long form match, it's sort of, you are going to get the requisite chances. Don't think anyone has played perfect so far in their matches. Chris ran it pretty close in that second session, but he wasn't perfect in the first, for example. So, long form matches, he knows he's going to get those 14 chances unless something magic happens on the other side of the table. And he feels so good backing himself to go and get the victory. No one's going to bet against him. Big test for Christophe, but if Christophe has shown us anything this weekend, he is in it for the long run. We'll turn our attention back to this frame here because 𝗀𝗏𝗍 is potting himself into bother. Oh, shot. Does that go? Don't think so. I think he needed the red to move. Yeah, he's in bother.
Yeah, I don't really know what Ian can do here. Try and slide it in front of that yellow. Needs to block something. Oh my word, what a shot from 𝗀𝗏𝗍. That is from the top draw.
What on earth has 𝗀𝗏𝗍 just done?
That is incredible. Oh,
Where did that come from?
what a body blow there to John McAllister. That is a brilliant shot. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, come on. That's absolutely crazy.
Superb. Absolutely superb shot.
That combo just isn't on.
No, I didn't even look at it. I thought he was going to try and slide the red in front of the yellow.
And he's gone and taken himself a break. And he's going to let John McAllister just stew on that.
Have some of that.
Which gives us a chance to watch it again. I'll
And
watch
again.
this as many times
And
as you like,
again.
Mr. Director. That's crazy. That's such a great shot. Come on, Tony, you're a formerly wonderful player in your own right. Talk us through the mechanics of how hard it is to get that shot right.
Well, the pace has to be exact for a start. If you hit that softly, it can't go in. If you hit it too hard, it can't go in because the second ball would just sort of shudder and stop. So it has to be played as in like a flick with just underneath the cue ball to generate enough power, but for when the second ball actually then follows through and goes forward to actually catch it up and get there, it's just ridiculous.
And then, all of that said...
And then you've got to knock the black in.
Well, not even that. I was going to say, all of that said, but you've got to then hit it. Your accuracy has to be within a millimetre, because you've got to hit it completely flush. With the perfect spin, with the perfect pace. That's a magic shot from 𝗀𝗏𝗍.
Yeah, it's the pace has to be, but you can't. If you hit that as hard as you possibly can, the second ball doesn't move. It will just bounce somewhere, and then it's just the control and the pinpoint accuracy. You know, we're talking. If that's a couple of millimeters out, it cannot go. It will go into the rail. It's ridiculously hard how that shot is. It's just a mental shot. Love it. And all that to tie the match up. So this is now going to be the last frame of this first session. 𝗀𝗏𝗍's got me tongue-tied all over the place.
It'll be very sort of on brand for John McAllister to sort of just go, yeah, okay, I see you. I'll knock this in. No. Don't you worry about me.
You see, the thing is, you expect these sort of things that you're in the semi-final of, you know, a major tournament. You know, it's the Masters, and they're big, long matches as well. So you're expecting some of the extraordinary shots that these guys can play. You're going to see 2 or 3 of them a match.
It's been a lot of fun, this match. It's been very, very good.
Yeah. 𝗀𝗏𝗍, after playing that shot, he's just probably sat there thinking, here comes old Captain Boring going to break and dish me again, is he? Just because I played that shot on him. I think he did. He wanted to screw into the red there, did John? And come past it and left himself close to that rail. This black to end a wonderful first session, I have to say.
Yeah, great standard. We sort of knew it would be. Seen some fantastic shots, some wonderful clearances, and it's John McAllister who has the edge, and it is an edge after the first session. When we resume this evening, John will begin 7-6 in front.
The action comes thick and fast. Here we go with the conclusion of our first semi-final, where Ian Alley and John McAllister are very closely locked here. It's on the break. 7-6 to John McAllister, and it is Ian Alley that gets underway with an opportunity here. Race to 14. Gets away from Ian. A similar, very tricky start in the opening frame of the whole match. Tricky layout, just like this one. There was a little bit of back and forth, and then the standard really delivered. Maybe in for a similar frame here. But you sense the early running is big. Knock the 8-ball awkward. This is going to be tough now. was always going to be a challenge. Feels so similar to the opening frame of the match, this one. But it's wide open now for 𝗀𝗏𝗍, but 8-ball has gone to a slightly awkward position, so it's not a guarantee. Not ideal, probably going to have to play the double. Maybe his plan all along, really. It's in a really good spot for the double. Let's get you there. And it goes, never really in doubt. She's perfect on a double like that. Expect to miss it. So all square. That's sevens. Both players need 7. It was interesting actually to hear Chris Melling after his win against 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, even though he came into that match by the odd frame behind, in his own mind that wasn't a factor because he had the break. And that was the situation here for 𝗀𝗏𝗍, and it'll be the situation for Christophe Lambert in the second semi-final, that the match is on the break. Christophe will have the break when they come back. Ian had the break here, although it didn't play out as a break clearance, but it did go to the breaker.
Frame 15, John McAllister break. 7 frames up.
Oh, poor miss. Was slightly unsettled, got back off it, and then still missed it. Big mistake. Wasn't a wide open chance, far from it, but certainly one you'd rather have than let your opponent have. Very good from 𝗬𝗁𝐿𝑖. He takes a lead, wins the opening 2 frames in the session. Not clean kills. Missed a ball at the start of that frame. Both frames have had multiple visits, but doesn't matter. All that matters is the man right there has won them. And he'll have the next break as well. So that was against the John McAllister break. Delighted to welcome Stephen Jameson back to commentary. I think this one's going to build to a big finish, Stephen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Made the comparison in session 1 with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that it felt a little bit like a 1500 metre race when you're watching it at the Olympics. Lead can change a few times in the early laps, but everyone sort of knows the score. Everyone's just keeping the pace. And then in the final stretch, it's a sprint for home. They'll continue to go back and forth. 𝗬𝗁𝐿𝑖, if he continues braking like that, will probably do all right, I would likely suggest. That was absolutely crunched.
Probably wants a yellow. Will he take the yellow to bottom left? He will. Reds aren't terrible. You had one on the right-hand side that needs a lot of work, and the one on the left has got to be landed on. He's playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. So, doesn't take the easy red, takes the slightly trickier yellow. That still wasn't too bad for him.
Well, if he's not got the one to left centre here, I'm not sure he does. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, it's just, he's a few rolls short of pace.
Yeah. How well can he hold this one? He's cutting it back. Can he avoid the 8 ball? I'm sure he can. He plays into it. Oh, that's come out okay. That's come out okay. He'll take it.
Extension called.
Might have just come back a roll too far. If he's absolutely straight and can't pinch the pocket, then he has to go forward rather than come back towards the yellow. If he has to do that, then he's just going to have more distance. Yeah, he is. If he's a half a turn further left as he looks, then he's below the centre pocket. Shouldn't really make any difference, but you can never be too easy for you out there.
No, that's half the battle. Is making it easier for yourself. That was an authoritative pot. Not seen too many 2-frame leads. We see one now. 𝗬𝗁𝐿𝑖 jumps ahead of John McAllister.
Yeah, the first one off the break in the second session. There'll be plenty more. Just check in with some of the scores from the Women's Masters. We already know one semi-final. Marion Jude will play Lauren Proctor. Great run through the field for Lauren Proctor over the course of the last day and a half or so, as she beat Leanne Cragg in the quarterfinals. Emma Senior in the last 16. Marion beat Aidla Croft-Hurst 6-1. So they'll be going on in the semi-finals. In fact, they've already started in the semi-finals. It's 1-1. In the other half of the draw, the #1 player, 𝗪𝗁𝐿𝑖 Davies, is 3-2 up on 𝗪𝗁𝗀𝗏, and Danielle Randall is 3-1 up on Megan Proctor, who had that 6-ball shootout win over Amy Beecham. We will see the final a little bit later on. It will come in the middle of the final of the Masters. We'll see the Women's Masters. So they've got time to get there, and we're looking forward to that final.
Yeah, I can tell you 𝗪𝗁𝗀𝗏 and 𝗪𝗁𝐿𝑖 Davies have been 3-2 for a very, very long time. I checked in with the tournament directors who told me there was an unbelievable safety frame which has completely nuked the flow of that match. Two players who usually quite like to crack on.
Mary's slightly slower on the pace, but she likes to be aggressive, so sort of you don't expect slow frames, whereas 𝗪𝗁𝗏 is just run around the table and pot all the balls. It's a battle for the number. Oh, clever shot from Ian there. He thought that was unmissable. I did too. Refuses to fall, but how'd you like this layout on yellows? Absolutely nothing doing here. And just to finish off what I was saying on the Women's Masters, the race for the number 1 between Kirsty Davies and Marion Jude is very much alive.
Well, Amy Beecham was in that conversation at the start of the weekend. She won't be come the end of it.
Not anymore.
Knocked out in the last 16 by Megan Proctor as John plays loss of turn. It's a very, very good shot. Although, I say it's a very good shot. I think Ian's okay. I think John really wanted to be behind the 8 ball there. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
8 ball does need some attention though. There's no home for the 8.
It's right in the spot where Christophe Lambert bludgeoned a double.
It is. Still can't believe that finish. Very clever.
Very good.
Purposely screwing off the yellow to open up the pocket for the 8 ball. Slightly short side for that, and there's not a great ball to get there, but he had to do something, and that was easier than trying to move the 8 ball. Any which way you tried to move the 8 ball, the chances of putting it into play is a lot less than doing what he's done. So it'll come down to a very good positional shot in a moment. But he shouldn't be too difficult because he's going to leave the one right centre, and then it's just line and pace control.
Perfect. Very good frame of ball from Ian Alley. The clever shot from John McAllister. He just didn't quite get the execution right and left a window of an opening for the fave. He goes 3 frames in front.
John yet to win a frame today, or in this session. Right?
Yeah, he's won a few today.
He's won a few today. Yeah. Yeah, just looking at the rankings in the Women's Masters as we were talking about it. Amy was in 2nd place. She should be overtaken by Marion Jude now. Marion is currently 1,750 points behind Kirsty Davies, so if she wins the tournament, she is guaranteed to become the number 1, even if Kirsty is the person that she beats in the final. But I actually think she has to win the final now that Kirsty is. Well, she's not in the semi-finals yet, is she? So,
no, in the quarters.
Yeah. But even, so the quarters you get 1,500 points for, so if Marion was to lose in the final, she could only get 1,500 ahead, so she would still stay. So yeah, I think I am right. Marion Jude has to win the tournament now. Otherwise, Kirsty Davies will be the number 1.
Don't count her out of that.
No, absolutely not. She's.
I think she might be favourite.
She might well be. She certainly is favourite right now with Kirsty around behind. But Lauren Proctor is playing brilliantly this weekend, so far from an easy semi-final, that one.
No, not at all. Big congrats to Lauren, a big achievement for her. Is Ian opening things up with the plant? Off the red as well. Shows you how confident he's feeling.
Does the 8 ball pass? Probably not, so he might need to do something with it. He can pick the yellows apart.
this will start to become a concern for John McAllister. I mentioned how the flow of the match often resembles that 1500-meter race. Sort of back and forth and back and forth, and everyone sort of stays in their lane and takes their turn and waits for the sprint finish. Well, 𝗀𝗏𝗍 is broken apart from the pack. He's gone early. And his challenge is to maintain that pace. John now has to reel him in. 4 frames all of a sudden looks a long way back. What a start from the 𝗡𝗡. 5 frames on the spin to kick off this second session.
Yeah, it was an interesting interview with him actually after the quarter-final. He was talking about practice. Said that living in central London, there isn't many great places to go and practice. Certainly of an evening, hard to get table time anywhere. And he's had a month off work. He's not a full-time player. Had a month off work, and that's allowed him to play 5 hours a day. So he's been going in practicing during the day when there's not many in the clubs, so he can get table time and put in proper, solid, professional level practice. And this is the result.
Wow, that is interesting.
Trailing 11 frames to 7.
John won't go quietly. Too good a player for that, playing too well for that. Wry smile. Because he's broken well and they've come out a bit smelly. He's been around the game long enough to know that's the sort of thing that can happen when things are just running against you at the time. But he's got to be good enough to find a way out.
You've almost got to take out a very good finish, and then the finishes can become easier. This one is a challenge. 2 yellows on the left-hand side, yellow on the right-hand side. All need developing. This one goes, that helps because it opens up the other one. So it is only one on the right-hand side. He could try and move it here. To have been straighter. Straighter, he can just drop it in and not have to worry about running too far. That's okay, landed nicely, judged the pace well. Well, I'm assuming he played for it in the corner the way he's played that shot, but the drop of the head tells me that doesn't go.
Surely it goes.
He must have been trying to hold. Surely. Or was he? Maybe it's just absolutely plumb straight and he doesn't think he can force an angle. So he's now thinking of screwing it straight back, hitting the gap of the reds to be on the yellow top left, because it looks like it clearly goes. And I guess the red's in the way from him pinching any of the pocket. Beautiful. Really, really nice shot.
It's really well controlled from John.
That was a big reaction from John, who very rarely shows anything, but really hung his head on that one. Very rare for him to do anything like that.
Big visit to the table. Big visit to the table for John McAllister. 11-8 back within 3. He's still 3 away from home. Both semi-finals pretty well poised. both finished 7-6 after 13 frames. Tell you there's been a result. 𝗘𝘃𝗲𝗿 is through 6-5. Shades the decider over 𝗪𝗁𝗀𝗆. Danielle Randall coming 3-2 from Megan Proctor to complete the lineup in the semi-finals. Marilyn Sheen already 3-2 up on Lauren Proctor in the semi. As Lauren continues to play well.
That does mean the winner of that semi-final will have a nice break and a chance to get themselves well prepared for the final. 𝗘𝘃𝗲𝗿 will be on as soon as Danielle Randall and Megan Proctor have finished, so that could be a little while. You said that you take out a good finish, tough layout, things can get easier. Well, here it is, getting easier.
Yeah.
This is a better layout for John McAllister. And it's his turn to potentially get a rhythm going and take out a few on the trot.
Long races like this can just all switch and change in a blink of an eye. Before you know it, really. This is a long, long way from being over. Another one on the board then for John McAllister. It's very smooth. Back to back for him. He's up and running now on the session. Still lost, or still losing 5-2 for the session, but he's back within 2. With Ian still needing 3, long way to go. Yeah, it certainly is. But that will make him feel so much better.
Frame 21, drop across the break. Trailing 11 frames to the line.
Good break from John. Another opportunity coming up. Not sure the red at the top of the table goes. If it does, then these reds aren't too bad. A couple of gaps to hit. That red at the top needs work, then he's got a couple of balls to do it with. Don't think there's any future on yellows. Looks like he might be able to get across and do the breakout straight away. There we go. Has he tied up the red though? He's opened up one. Has he tied up another? Yes. Reaction tells us, oh, he's giving away a bit more than normal out there. That's 2. I mean, I know I'm making light of it, but he's normally, you can't tell.
Yeah, you get usually very, very little value out of John in terms of reaction, emotion. But yeah, you're right. There's a little bit out there for sure. It just shows that it matters.
It does matter, yeah. He wants to get in the mix at the top, doesn't he, of the rankings? He's looking for his 2nd title of the year. He's now starting to really churn them out here with 𝗨𝗏𝗃𝗃. John has won everywhere he's gone. Age groups all the way through. International events, pro events, world championships. He's won it all. He is currently a long way behind Tom Cousins and Declan Brennan at the top of the rankings. Currently in 4th place. See how the rankings shake up this weekend, but I believe he'll go above, I'm fairly certain he'll go above Craig Waddingham, so he'll go up to at least 3rd. Can't catch Declan in 2nd place. He's actually quite a long way behind. Declan's on 50,500 with a few points to add from this one. And John's on 33.4 and would get 6,000 ranking points if he won it. So 39.4. He would still be well over 10,000 ranking points behind, which is essentially 2 wins behind, 2 titles behind. It's a long way.
Yeah, it just shows how relentlessly good Declan and Tom have been.
Yeah, they've separated. In goes the double. Never felt any doubt on that one. And this is for 3 straight to get back within 1.
Dare we say, game on.
Ian talked about this in his interview after the quarterfinal as well. He's so used to playing deep matches with his money match prowess. This is what he expects. You know, he knows that even winning 5 straight and giving himself a comfortable lead, he knows that John's going to respond. Ian just has to sit there patiently and wait for his next opportunity, and he's used to this.
Yeah, I referenced it earlier when I was commentating on the first session of this. With Ian, you know, we talk a lot about players who are capable of playing at a world-class level for a very long period of time. We sort of, you know, you think of sort of all the fellas who are in the right at the top of the rankings. But someone who's proved that he's in that conversation is Ian Alley. His record against world-class players over really long races is phenomenal, really. The only enigma element that he has is it feels like it's on a switch. I think today we can safely say that switch has been hit.
Yeah. Not much angle here, but enough. He doesn't have to get all the way down the table. That's a lovely gap to hit. May have been playing to almost target the yellow. Didn't quite have that line, but pace control was perfect. Two-frame advantage once again. Stops the little mini run for John McAllister. 3 straight. He is now 2 away from the final. It would be his 2nd final of the year.
Edging closer.
Frame 23. Jump classes break. Trailing 12 frames to 10.
John's going to win 4 of the next 5 if he is going to make it through to the final. And he's dry here. Reach that stage where John may not play another shot, although this is a very challenging layout. Red on the left-hand side, blocked by the yellow. Red in the triangle area doesn't go. Might not be on the one to bottom right now. Yellows don't have much of a look in either. We'll see. Let's see what Ian does. Will he take these on?
I think we know the answer to that, don't we?
Yeah. So there's a lot of work here, though.
That wasn't my point.
Yeah, yeah. I get it.
There is a lot of work, though. You're right. Not an easy one, but Ian Alley has never shied away from a tough finish. That's a lovely nudge. It's an excellent shot. Is it a case of drop this in, or does he try and bump the yellow? Does he try and bump the red? Bumps the red. Perfect. Over the middle is perfect, and that.
I say it's perfect. He's not on the red nicely. I thought he was going to pull up and be on it to drop it in. So he might have to now take it to the corner, and then that doesn't leave him a good angle to connect the other two together.
He's just lined it up, I think. It's up to the top corner, then just above the 8 ball, and he's going to take the one to the bottom right next. It's high level. Oh, that's a long way off.
It was too straight. If he makes the pot, does he go far enough to get on the red? It just didn't look right.
Yeah.
Develops a little bit. One more still to move, but looks like he's got the perfect angle to do it straight away. If he does try that, though, chance he doesn't land on anything. May look for other options. Get it when it's a bit more controllable. Yeah, looks like he wants it now.
Extension bolt.
Goes bottom right into the yellow on the cushion. A full ball cannon, I think, leaves him on nothing. And he is on nothing. Or is he? Can he get through to the one top of the triangle area? Maybe. He looks happy enough, so he must be on this. Yeah, and he's got an angle. Go up the table now, get that one out the way. very, very good, and now can control himself back down the table.
He does play those kind of shots really well, John. His cue ball is pretty impeccable.
Yeah.
It's travelled a long old way, that cue ball, and he's on a pin.
He's playing that shot in the right way, though. That's the reason why it looks so good, is that the margin of error on that shot was huge.
Yeah, he's played it on such a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take your point.
I mean, if he'd picked up his hand and that's where he would put it, but I would suggest that was probably at the furthest end of his window he was aiming for. But that's what 𝗘𝗲𝗄𝗆 is playing those shots in those ways.
Not going quietly.
Back within one. Needs 3 more. Match clock is not really a factor at all. It's just gone along at a nice pace. Don't expect the match clock to be a factor in the next match either. John's chuntering away to himself. Saw the reaction from Ian when he missed the ball to top left. He knew it was big. It was an opportunity to get on the hill and have the break. Seems quite a strange break here. Threw loads into it. Didn't really. Half the pack seemed to explode really well, and half the pack barely moved. Not sure he's on the yellow. He looks happy enough, but it doesn't look like he's on it. Yellow off red. That's exactly what he played for.
Now then.
Yeah. That opened everything up.
He held the pose for a good 5 seconds there, Ian Ali. And that's the walk of a man back to his chair who knows he's in a bit of trouble. He was a long way in front. And John McAllister is roaring back and is odds on here to go 12 each.
Good little flick. Didn't want to be hampered underneath that 8 ball, and it's just that flick has allowed him to get to the centre of the cue ball. Still not perfect. didn't really want to be straight like that. Got to play a shot here. It looks really easy, but it's so simple to throw this one onto a jaw when you're forcing it and keep it out. It hasn't been as clean and clinical as John counters normally are. That was nice though. He didn't try and overhit that. He just allowed the spin to really grip, timed it, and didn't try and get too far down the table. But he does have quite a thin clip in here. He could have done with an extra few rolls. He's just slightly concerned with the path of the cue ball. He's thinking right center is in play. Looks like he'll be okay though. And he is okay. Well worked out. And the counter is complete. Comeback is complete. Square with with both players need 2 from 3. John will have 2 breaks as well. That could be a big factor.
Especially the way that he's breaking.
That may be why we saw so much reaction from Ian. His advantage he'd gained is gone. Marginal second favourite now because of the breaks.
Frame 25. John McAllister to break. 12 frames.
Big break for John McAllister. Huge. Huge explosion. It's a very good chance. It does have just the pressure of the situation causes a lot of work, but it does have just a little bit of work on the finish.
Extension.
Looks like he's eyeing up this yellow to bottom right. I thought he was going to go reds, but the red on the left-hand side is probably making him think yellows. If this goes in, yellows for sure. But that was a pressure-filled first shot, wasn't it?
Target's pressure-filled first couple of shots.
This one, to me, feels easier simply because he's not doing anything with the cue ball.
And he made the first one.
And he's made the first one, yeah.
Smooth.
He's just rolled a roll too far there. He wanted to be just underneath the straight and track onto the one on the left-hand side. He doesn't want to be playing the one on the left-hand side from low because then he's going into the red. So does he have the angle to do that? No, he doesn't. Might play the double. I know that sounds strange with the yellow being not that tough in the centre, but if he plays the double, he can pull back just straight in on the yellow.
Looks like he's cutting. Judged that so well.
Yeah, knew he wasn't getting the full ball cannon. Therefore, he wasn't going to stick on the left-hand side where he wouldn't have a shot. He knew as long as he got out to the middle of the table, he would have a shot.
Brilliant stuff from John McAllister. What a run. How many frames in a row is this now?
Well, he had 1 in the middle, so he was 7, 1, 3, lost 1. Now he's going to win another 3. 6 from 7, having lost 5 straight.
Oh, it's incredible, really. After the start that Ian Alley made in this session, it's John McAllister who is first to the hill.
When John broke dry a couple of frames ago, he would have feared the worst of not getting back to the table. Now he knows worst case scenario, he's going to be breaking off in a decider.
Massive break this for Ian Ali. A trophy over his left shoulder, the silver one. May be his first ultimate pool title.
Frame 26, United break, trailing 13 frames to 12.
Belter.
If the red goes to bottom left, the one he just looked at,
It's
this is
good.
a really good chance.
Yeah. It's all dependent on this red. At the top of the image, as we look at it here from the overhead, the one that sticks to the yellow, if that goes, this is a very, very presentable finish, and I'm pretty sure it does.
He's played on it, so it must do. Even if it didn't, he would have had a ball close enough to be able to deal with it, but he wouldn't have necessarily wanted to. There he goes. Shake of the head from John. Not entirely sure why, unless he's just trying to gear himself up for that decider.
Yeah, had that sort of vibe to it, didn't it? Like he was talking to himself.
Yeah. Has been more animated in this match. I know he's not given much away, but he has.
Yeah, even just that slight furrow of the brow is about 100% more than you usually get from John. Now then.
Yeah, what's Ian done here?
That's not the best shot Ian Ali has ever played. In fact, it is one of the worst shots he's played all day.
Put himself under pressure.
Yeah, needs to find it. Can he dig past the yellow?
I don't think he can. I don't think he can avoid the yellows, and therefore he's going to be horrible on the last red. The pot here is not that bad.
It's all about the cue ball.
Yeah. Mind you, the overhead maybe looks a little bit more like he can dig it, but I don't think he can.
Yeah, he's gone from digging it to playing it with side. So he's gone for full ball on the yellows, and he's judged that mighty well. Oh.
This is
Breathe.
still not an easy red, but he'll be happy to have it off what he just had. This is what all the practice is about. 8 balls like this.
Yeah, this is, by anybody's chalk, a pressure 8 ball. And Ian Ali makes pressure 8 balls. Hill in the semi-final.
It always felt like we were going there, didn't it? I mean, there was a little run for Ian, winning 5 straight, where maybe thought he might run away, but 2-3 packs on the trot from John got him to the hill first. But which one of these two will be the happier right now? John McAllister, you feel, because he's got the break.
That's the only reason, yeah. It's absolutely the only reason. John having the break is massive, because he's been breaking so well.
Plenty for Ian to think about. He can't do anything unless he gets to the table. So he'll sit there and hope and be ready if it comes his way.
Final frame. Jump past.
Big break for John McAllister. Perfect cue ball.
Huge explosion.
What a break. When
It's a
you've got that to come in a hill decider, it is such an incredible weapon. And these yellows look particularly good.
Yeah, this is as good an opportunity as you could ever wish for in a decider. Yes, he's got to find a pattern, but he's made a ball, and there's nothing really clustered together on the yellows. Yellow at the furthest up the table. It might go right centre, which is the biggest window to get onto it. If not, that's the trickiest ball. He's not on it. Ooh, just pulled up enough to be able to clip this in, but it's horrible.
Yeah, a little shake of the head. He's okay. This now becomes almost cash ball, really. If he gets this and lands anywhere in the middle of the table, you'd fancy him to be out of there.
Yeah, is he going into? If he's going into the red, the cue ball holds on the red, probably goes to the left-hand side cushion. He'll be on a ball. If he's kind of glancing it, who knows where this cue ball could end up.
Missed it.
Missed it.
Oh, now then. Ian Alley gets a shot in the decider.
Well, these reds do not have much future, but Ian will be thrilled to at least get to the table. Those two reds bottom left are a real problem, but he has got the one top of the triangle area which he can use as a breaker ball. Do you take it now, or do you take? I think you have to take it now. If he takes the one at the top, I don't think he can get good on the break again. So I think you have to take it now. Ideally, bottom cushion. You don't want to go into it direct. Bottom cushion into it. Oh, he went into it direct.
He's trusting to luck a bit. I'm not sure how much he's got.
Well, he can see a red.
I'm not sure that means a huge amount to him.
It goes top left.
Cheers.
It might go bottom left. He might have that to bottom left. Don't think he's got any other option.
I don't think it sneaks to the middle, which is the one he wanted.
Or might play this off the yellow to make it more controllable.
Oh.
Extension calls.
How do you like that in a hill decider?
He is playing this off the yellow, I think.
Oh, what a big shot coming up. Digging in as well. What a shot from Ian Alley. How's the leave? It's not bad.
He'll take it. He'll take it.
What a shot that is to find at this stage of the tournament. Oh, goodness me.
Anything but straight. He's got just enough to force this down.
Both players got a shot in the decider. But Ian Alley looks like the man who is going to find a way. It is a tricky 8-ball. It is a tricky 8-ball.
I'm not sure if the in-off in the middle of the yellow's on. I think the other yellow nearest the pocket will block it, so I think he can put all into the pot.
He's missed it. Wow, more drama.
Wow, that's only pressure, isn't it? That is only pressure. He wasn't even close.
You can go a long, long way before you see Ian Alley miss an 8-ball by that much again.
Oh, wow.
What a final frame.
This isn't over. John has still got to make sure here. You know he's feeling it. The two shots he's played in the decider were not the best. If the 8-ball was 6-8 inches further up the table, it would be less of an issue. He still needs to land. As easy as it looks, the pressure that's on. Yeah, yeah.
He's sure.
He's got too much angle here.
Oh, smiling because he can't believe how much he's feeling it.
Oh, you think, what would I give for straight in right now?
It's a lovely shot. It's a lovely shot.
Is he straight enough? I think so. Drop in.
That's the sort of shot John McAllister has been playing all day on repeat.
He'd love to be an inch off the cushion, though. Because if he rolls forward by a roll, then he's going towards the 8-ball. Just adds just enough to make you think. So now he's going across and probably back. I don't think he'll play short side. I think he'll play across and back. You've got to get the right amount of bite. Not too much to leave it awkward and not too little and go into the 8-ball. He played into it. Wow, what a decision to make there.
Stones. John McAllister is into the Ultimate Pool Masters final. What a match between he and Ian Alley. But it's John who holds it together right at the last. Both players had chances. Both players burned chances in the decider. But John took his right at the very end. And he is in the Masters final.